Falcon Nation, back here on Winter Sports Media today, finishing up with wrestling, talking to Coach. Coach,
yes,
welcome. Did I do media day with you last year?
I don't think so, but it's okay.
It's okay. Well, we'll ask you extra questions.
Sure, go ahead.
I couldn't remember stuff too. So year 2, but the first year of your kids, right? Yeah. So what can we expect out of the Frank Barbrie coach team this year?
Well, I mean, obviously, last year with the COVID and different things, we barely had in the lineup. All right, so we had 5 guys on the team.
Yep.
This year we got pretty much a full roster except for 125.
Okay.
So it's 25-pounders. They're hard to come.
I was just going to say, I know some wrestling, but not a lot. But I can imagine that weight class is
trying to find a grown adult that weighs 125 pounds is hard these days. But like I said, I think we're going to do well regardless of without that weight class. I mean, we've got like a murderer's row basically from 141 on up to 65.
Awesome.
It's awesome. Like they're solid.
So we could expect some great things out of the wrestling,
absolutely.
Out of the wrestling program this year. And I know our first home match is sometime in November. I can't remember the date,
November 12th.
Yeah, and that's why I always use the plug. If we're not sure, that's why you go to LackawannaFalcons.com and look for wrestling schedule and get that. And we want a lot of people to come out to fill up the student union to watch some wrestling.
Now we won't have our full lineup in because a couple of kids are on the academic end of that. We will be playing, but it's their B team that we're going to wrestle with.
Right.
So. And that's the reason why we do it until everybody can get eligible for second semester.
Right, and stuff too. And so the majority of your matches are during the spring semester, in the winter and leading into qualifying for national stuff too. So we had Cordell Waiters here. He wasn't able to wrestle last year, but he's eligible, ready to go this year. So what do we expect out of Cordell?
I think Cordell last year, if he was at that weight class second semester, I think he would have been in the finals. Okay. I think he's down. Remember now, keep in mind he's dropped from 57 down to 41.
Right.
He's dropped 2 weight classes. So and he's just as fast and just as strong. So I think you're going to see a lot of good things. Although 41 is a strong weight class in this, around here, at least in our conference.
Okay.
And speaking for Will Evanensky, I mean he's a kid's a high school state champion. I mean I've seen him wrestle in the room. He's very good. Right. He's very smooth.
And we think he's going to be ready to go start of the spring semester, right?
Right. He won't be eligible until second semester.
And that'll be a good way to get his, get a little bit more practice time in and get some extra time in the weight room stuff. How has practice been going? How's your conditioning been going? How's everybody? I see you guys running stairs a lot and doing some intense stuff.
Yeah. I mean, like as far as the wrestling goes, I mean, you load up heavy on the technique end on this one because we got a lot of new kids and there's some kids. So we're trying to get everybody on the same page. They have to have at least a set of skills.
Right.
But the next 2 weeks we're going to pound it, as far as conditioning goes, because right now we're taking a lot of time to show techniques that they're going to need.
And I'm sure wrestling at the high school and at the college level is a little different because they're wrestling against other college wrestlers, who are
they're ready
skilled.
To go. Yep, absolutely. And a couple of new kids that we have only may have had a few years experience, so we don't want them going out there and getting hammered.
Right. And we talked about William and Cordell. Is there anyone else on your squad?
Like I said, I mean Braulio at 33, he looks really good. He can maybe be able to cut to 25. We will see how that thing works out later on, and then leave that 33 vacant. Okay. But at any rate, he looks solid. 41, like I said, Cordell's gonna kill it. So is Will. So is Evan. Evan actually has been giving Will fits in the room, and Evan, this kid, I got him out of East Stroudsburg area. He's just a little block.
Right.
You know what I
mean?
And
I had a chance to meet some of the Stroudsburg kids, in the fitness center before your season started. They seem like a really nice,
they're
really
dedicated, hardworking. Him and our 65-pounder. Matter of fact, the 65-pounder's sister dates the 49. So they came in as a package deal. Yeah,
because I asked them, "Are you a package deal?" Because they both said, and they didn't tell me how they're packaged, but now
that's how it works.
But now I know, hey, whatever it takes.
And like I said, they both. They'll go and lift. You don't have to tell those kids to go and lift. They go in there, they lift, they get their work. They're hardworking kids. So like I said, I know we're solid. Then we got a new kid at 74. He's 74 is one of our girls. Dominique's brother, Walter.
Okay.
He's a 74-pounder. He's new, but he's learning. 84, get this kid out of New Jersey, Simeon Hunt, solid, very solid. And then we have returners, Matthew Rallerson.
Right.
And we have 4 heavyweights this year, but Shannon Core is solid.
Good.
He's a West Scranton graduate. I went down and recruited him with Jaden Riley, and we went down, sat in the stands, watched him wrestle, and we talked to him afterwards. And he's very fast, but he's very strong, and he's got a very good solid base of skills. Right. So I think last year, we had him last year, he would have been in the finals.
Right. And it's nice because it seems like you have a lot of local flavor on your team and stuff too, you know. So like even Cordell is from Emmaus, which isn't too far away. You know, parents could make the trip to Scranton, you know, but having a lot of local kids could really, you know, draw some more local interest because there are some really good local wrestlers, you know, in Northeast Pennsylvania. So knowing that, hey, these local kids are coming to Lackawanna and competing and winning matches, you know, like, let's go. Like
we can get 3 or, I mean, I know this is stretching it, but I think if we can get maybe 5 guys to qualify for the national, 5 or 6, maybe get possible 3 All-Americans out of it, it'll be good for the program. And Danny, I'm not making any predictions. I'm just saying, because God only knows what can happen throughout the course of the year. People get sick, go ineligible, blah, blah, blah. But I'm saying statistically, we're looking very good.
Right. And Danny makes that national wrestling trip. So Danny, the more people Danny has on that trip, the happier he is.
Oh, okay, cool.
You know, so the more rooms he has to book, the more flights he has to book, it just makes his day. So let's try to qualify.
It makes his day.
Let's try to qualify that money. For Danny, let's try to qualify everybody for nationals.
Well, yeah. It could be a possibility in the near future if things keep rolling in the right direction.
Yeah. Now I usually, and we'll leave it at this, I used to ask your players about some stuff years ago, but since I'm older than you, I'm sure. But you know,
how old are you?
I'm 47.
We're the same age.
All right, good. So, are you familiar? And this is how I know wrestling and why I really like wrestling. The movie Vision Quest with Matthew Modine.
Oh, yeah, we play it. We play the soundtrack I play the soundtrack.
So they're familiar with. So I
asked them. Are you kidding me? If you say Lunatic Fringe, they'll know.
They'll know what it had. But do you think that they watched the movie? Because the entire movie itself is absolutely fantastic. It's one of my favorite movies of all time.
It is. I
have the VHS cassette. If you want me to bring it in, we can find a VHS player.
Here's the problem: you got to find one that's edited. Today's day and age, it could be.
Well, yeah.
But I met Matthew Modine in New York City. It was at a wrestling event. There was a Beat the Streets thing.
Okay.
They brought him in as a promo. They actually brought the old shoe guy in.
Oh, yeah? Yeah.
The guy
awesome. Yep.
Yeah, so I got a chance to meet both of those guys. Very cool. Because for me, that was kind of like, you know, that Journey song, Only Dion.
Yep.
I used to run with I used to run with that out.
I have that on my playlist.
Yeah.
You know, so and I have Lunatic Fringe on my playlist too, but it's an awesome movie. So if your guys are watching this, have a night where you just go and watch Vision Quest. You won't be disappointed.
You should show it in the theater down there and charge them to go and see it.
Yeah, we could do that too. But if there's some inappropriate parts that maybe aren't PG, we don't know how we're gonna wiggle that around. But if they watch it on their own in their room or somewhere else, but I definitely recommend it to your guys.
Oh, they know
and watching and stuff too. So that's awesome. That's part of the culture here at Lackawanna Wrestling.
Frank,
thanks for joining us. Have a great year.
Thanks.
Make sure you catch Frank and all of our wrestlers here at the Student Union this year. Take flight.